I'm not gonna lie, that taught them respect, you know, it also kept them up. God did not call you to live in a cave. He called you to go out in the forefront.
Amen.
There you go.
God didn't call you just to be like, be an observer. He called you to get in the junk of it. Remember, how many of you remember having Elijah? He hid in that cave. But you know what? That was not where he was supposed to stay. God was the one who had to tell him, hey, I want you to. But you know what? That has tortured so many of that generation. Children aren't be seen and not heard. Now, this day and age, children have a very big sphere of influence. But oftentimes, we always use it in the demonic. How about we turn that around, start using that in the spirit? We're all meant to be impactors of the kingdom. Here, God didn't call you just to be, just observe. Christianity is not a spectator sport. It calls you to get involved. God didn't call you to be like Saul's army and just sit back and watch the entire thing go down. God didn't call you to say, oh, we're not going to win this. God called you to say, oh, yes, we are. As Christians, we're always determined to win the fight, and we always will win. But at the same time, we all carry a sphere of influence. And little by little, we always dabble. Little bit. You put your toe in the water, like little toddlers, they put the toe in the water, they immediately want to go in. Right? That's the same way we do when it comes to the Holy Ghost. We dabble, but you know what? How submerged are you? Yeah. Same thing happened in Ezekiel. He had this vision, and there was rivers of living water. He's like, God, I don't want to go on with this. You know, little by little. It was ankle deep, knee deep, waist deep, fully submerged. What would happen? I'm telling you, what would happen if we came to this house prepared? You're not meant to prepare a battle if you don't have nothing to fight with. What would happen if we entertained the Holy Ghost before we came to church? Can't let the worship team do it. Does it help? Yes, it does. But you know what? They're not meant to do all the work. You're supposed to be a participant, not a spectator. What happens to the spectators? They burn out. Spectators, they die. Spiritually, physically. Spectators never get used by the Holy Ghost. They're too worried about standing in the background just watching instead of just walking in the calling of God on their life. We all have different ministries, but you know what? Scripture says we have the same Lord. Different gifts, but the same Spirit. But you know, what would happen if we start activating that? Because we all have, like I said, I don't know why, a sphere of influence. But you know what? Brian, I'm telling you, like we get along and stuff, but there's times like we just got each other's numbers. I'm gonna be honest. But you know what? I saw God wreck you. I'm telling y'all, I've never seen Brian get this before in my life. But you know what? I am so glad that I was there to see it. You know what? That's what happens when the Holy Ghost gets on you. That's what happens when full surrender happens. And we always treat the Holy Ghost as like, we don't ever treat him the way he's supposed to be. Bill Johnson said this, famine always follows misused abundance. That's the same way we treat the Holy Ghost sometimes. We have so much of him, and yet there are people that know nothing about him. Do not, and I repeat myself, do not take the Holy Ghost for granted. Do not take the teaching that we have in this body, in this house, and take it for granted. Do not take the spirit of unity we have in this house and take it for granted. Because you know what? There are a lot of churches that aren't functioning that they shouldn't. And you know what? It's time to get off the back burner. Amen. Time to start getting off the back burner. Amen. Start getting out there and slaying them giants. What's that song we sung? We cut off the giant's head and we eat them for our bread. But one more thing. What giants are you trying to fight? And have you cut off his head yet? Because you know what? Sometimes we cut off his head, but you know what? It's like a snake. His body still moves. We still let it have an effect. Even though his head is severed, we still allow that spirit to get in there. And you know what? What would happen if us as a body, if us as a youth group, as us as a church, what would happen if we all got together and started taking things out publicly? Brian, he came up to me just before I had to get up here this morning. I had like 15 minutes. And he's like, hey, do you want to do a prayer circle? I'm like, yes, sir. And you know what? He's like, where's everybody? He's like barking out orders. I want everybody now. He was literally barking orders saying, get them now. But you know what? That is what happens when the Holy Ghost gets on you. That is what happens when we are united. How good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's there that he commands the blessing. And so we have youth camp every year. But you know what? Some of us, not talking just teenagers, talking about adults, we take this time for granted. And we always try and we suppress it with the things of the world. But you know what? Greater is he that is in you. Say it again. Than he that is in the world.